Hello and welcome to the Lagg podcast. I am your host, Mike Chalice, alongside, as always, the man with the beard, Matt Bird.
How you doing, Mike?
And Mr. Gloom and Doom himself, Sam Landry.
Yo.
Hey, you didn't sound like a girl that time. For those of you who don't know, we're actually re-recording this first part of the podcast because we left an air conditioner on and it sounded like garbage.
Shit happens.
Yeah, it's all good. What have we been playing this week, guys?
Well, probably a good thing we did start over because I did play some of Shadows of Mordor, but Destiny keeps pulling me back in.
It's just one of those games,
Yeah.
where it's just, even last night, you guys pulled me off of Alien Isolation and just to play a raid in Destiny, and it's just, everybody seems to be still migrating to it. There's actually a pretty crazy stat when we do the news later. But it's weird. It's just like a World of Warcraft game. That's exactly how to describe it, because I was playing lots of other games, but then I had times where my friends would text me and say, hey, we're going to do the raid, and wow, why don't you come log on? It's the same damn thing.
Yeah. Well, you start playing something, and then like 8 friends online.
It's just
all
like
playing
Diablo.
Destiny.
Shiny.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's shiny.
Well, the community helps that, right? Because everybody, like, the promotion of Destiny was great, and everybody's playing Destiny. They're constantly adding new stuff to do, and people are for that, like, that constant quest to get better gear and better gear, right? So, yeah.
And when you get the Suit It for War trophy achievement, whatever you want to call it, depending on your system, everything seems easier. Even like weekly Nightfall before, not going to happen. Did it twice now this week.
Yeah. Which
Next
is
week I'm
which is
scared.
really great, because I remember the first time that we had, I think we tried to do it at one point.
The Nightfall?
No, I might have actually watched a video on it, and it just seemed
So-
ridiculous. But now we're all really geared, and we have legendary items on every piece and exotics and
Well,
stuff.
we've got
so
someone
it's-
who's almost like level 40. A big exaggeration, but
yeah,
pretty much
obviously. But no, it's just one of those games, right? That's exactly what Destiny, that Bungie wanted Destiny and Activision wanted Destiny to be, is constantly bringing people back and stuff. And when the expansion comes in December, more people are going to go back to it. It's just one of those games that, all right, I'm kind of out of games to play right now. Why don't I just play Destiny? You know, that's sort of what it feels like to me. The little bit that you did play, what did you think about Shadows of Mordor?
Well, I love Assassin's Creed. I love the Batman game, so I love Shadows of Mordor.
Perfect.
But it is, like I said, only an hour and a half.
I'm terrible at it.
Only an hour. Oh, that's all you've played.
All I've played.
I thought you said the story was an hour and a half. I'm like, what?
No.
I'm terrible at it, so.
You're terrible at a lot of games, though.
Yeah, I die a lot.
Sam, what have you been playing this week?
Yeah.
Well, Forza Horizon 2, because it's a giant festival.
It's your cake, and you can eat it too.
There's a lot of awesome cars. It's probably the only way I'll ever own a Aston Martin Vanquish ever, so.
That's not true. If I win the lottery, I'll buy you one.
Okay. Hey, we have that on recording now, so there we go. We got proof.
That's fine. And then I'll watch them repossess it when you can't afford the insurance.
Touché.
So I'll nod your heart up and then watch the exact point where it shatters.
Try not to swear.
So you're loving it then?
Oh, yeah.
Forza Horizon 2?
Yeah.
Yep.
And then eventually when I get around to playing more and finding out more about what's available, because like it's a portion of the game, like I have to beat 15... I have to get 15 championships to even get to the Horizon finale, which is like a 25 race final track thing. Like it's a huge thing. So like half the game you're just racing to get to the Horizon Festival itself, like the big main stage, and then after that you got to do like the other half of the game is just racing there,
Right.
racing these different cars and all that stuff. So, you know, eventually there'll be
It's got really high reviews on everything.
probably a couple more weeks, and then there should be a review up.
Okay.
Or I'll be working on it at least by then. Just I want to make sure I have a good grasp about what I'm talking about before I start.
Well, it's true. Like we're obviously just starting out, so we don't get games early and are able to play them because we actually have full-time jobs outside of this. We can't just spend 8 hours a day playing a game because we're assigned to review it or something.
Now, if
like
anybody
that.
out there is willing to send me a copy of MCC ahead of time so I can have a review out for it when it comes out, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
It seems to be doing phenomenally better than Drive Club, which is having some major issues right now with some servers.
What they're claiming is there are a lot more PlayStation Plus members than they anticipated, seeing as how the game was set to release last year, and it's kind of like quadrupled since when it
You
launched.
mean the fact that they've sold 10 million units or over that now has affected their servers?
Yeah.
Wow. It amazes me that companies don't accommodate that. Like, it really does. The only one that didn't have really any hiccup was Destiny. Like, really, there was a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, you couldn't log in for a second, but I tried like 3 times and got in, and that seems to be the general consensus. Yeah. And that's because they got that Activision money, baby. Oh, yeah. They just threw money at their servers. They'll downgrade later and just add those to the World of Warcraft servers if they need to. It's not like they're not going to use them.
That's true.
So I've been playing a few games.
I hate you.
Was really We'll
We
go over
both
that
do.
actually later. But the games I've been playing. I was actually away all week for work. Brought my 3DS with me. Got some Smash Bros 3DS in. The review's actually up on GamingLagg.com now. First plug just for you, Matt. Really, really enjoy it. But then I decided to buy something for my trip that I hadn't played yet, and it was Zelda Link Between Worlds. Phenomenal game. Loving it. It is it is Link to the Past on steroids. Literally, that's how it feels to me. It brings back so many memories of playing Zelda when I was a kid on the Super Nintendo. Super, super good game. The animation style is great. And I put hours and hours and hours and hours into this game while I was away because there's not a lot to do in a hotel room. Then when I got back, I was able to finally pick up my copy of Alien Isolation, which I am playing right now. And yeah, that xenomorph.
I feel ignored and underappreciated by.
Alien Isolation?
Yeah, it's taken over the guy we so got used to playing in Final Fantasy with.
Yeah.
And Destiny, not Final Fantasy. Wow, I need sleep.
Yeah. No, Alien Isolation is the first Alien movie is probably one of my favorite movies of all time, and I'm on a huge survival horror kick right now. I'm going to be getting The Evil Within. I'm really excited for, after that PT trailer, to see Silent Hills and all that stuff. So very excited for that. Alien Isolation has some mixed reviews right now. I am not that far into it. I'm about 6 hours in right now, and I'm still loving it. The atmosphere is perfect. And, yeah, I really do mean what I say about that freaking alien in that game. He is not merciful. There is no such thing as... I compare it to Outlast because Outlast is a very similar game as far as features go. But Outlast was an indie game, so it didn't have nearly as much of a budget. And when you got caught by somebody in Outlast... you could run away from them. So I never had that same sense of like, well, if somebody catches me, yeah, it might scare me initially, but I can just run in circles and stuff and they'll never catch me. You can't do that with the Alien.
So are you happy that it's not a permadeath type game?
I am happy, but it also brings back like games that you had to save in, and if you didn't, you had to redo sections.
Yeah.
Because if you don't save it, you can't do that. Like you don't get that.
Are you considering getting an APC battery pack in case you lose power while you're playing that?
I already have one, so I don't really need that. But it's amazing to me that it instills true fear into you that if that alien catches you, you are done. There are enemies in the game, like synthetics from the movies and stuff, that will grab you and you get a chance to get away. If that alien sees you, and I'm not talking like you can't run into a room and go into a locker. If he's right behind you, there is nothing you can do.
You're dead.
He's killing you. I ran into a room, went into a locker, he ripped the door off and killed me. Like there was no option. But I'll be doing a review on that once I'm completed the story and stuff like that and play a little bit of Survivor mode. Really loving that though. Both games are recommended. The Alien Isolation one might be a little bit harder to recommend only because it is a survival horror game and there will be some frustrations. Sam, you're going to play it and you're probably going to throw your controller because I know how you are. Because
gonna break my controller.
If you get through a whole section and then forget to save it just because you're going to the next save point or something like that and he kills you, you have to do the whole section again. So before I realized that, I had actually done about about a 30-minute part of the game without saving, and then he caught me and killed me, and then I realized that, oh my god, there's no autosave.
We may need to stock up on drywall and plaster. The controller may go flying multiple times.
Anyway,
So what else have you been playing?
Yeah, Mike, what else have you
we're
done?
gonna go over that later. We got a lot of news to get through. This is gonna be a longer podcast, I think, because we missed last week. We also got some big news since our Kickstarter is gonna be officially starting tomorrow.
Yay!
Which is exciting.
Yippee-ki-yay.
We're also crazy going up in followers right now. We're up to almost 300, which I know in some people's context that's not a lot, but I think it's a lot.
Starting from 3 guys living out in a town in Fredericton, New Brunswick. Come on.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's pretty decent.
All right, so we're going to be back with the news. Yeah, we'll see you in a second. And we're back. We're going to go over some news as Matt had to abruptly stop his talking, which I shouldn't really do because he only says 3 words a day anyway. But we got a lot to get through. We weren't here last week due to scheduling conflicts. Matt was away on vacation and I was away for work. So there's a few things to talk about. Xbox One getting theme support and customizable background and pics and screenshots. This sort of comes on the news of PlayStation already had that in their last generation stuff. I think the Xbox 360 could do that too, didn't it?
What?
It did, but it was basically covered by everything else because I had like Fallout themes and stuff on my 360, and
Oh yeah, 360 themes. Yeah.
it was in the background covered up by the your big blocks.
It changed some
everything.
tiles.
Okay.
So, well, okay. The
So essentially it was more of a background than a theme then.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
Xbox. How many times did the UI on the PS3 change since they released console? Like once, maybe never.
Never.
It was the same.
was
Yeah,
the same.
the Xbox 360 dashboard changed like 7 times throughout the years that it was there. So
Yeah.
sometimes the themes used to work really well, and then when they do an update, it just kind of dwindled. Like I had a Battlefield 3 one, which looked fine. It's just some tiles you just can't see it. Some of the backgrounds are just basically pictures, like a desktop for your computer.
So it wasn't quite as extensive as the PlayStation ones then that you could get. That
yeah.
would change like your icons and
The
everything.
PlayStation
Okay.
one was the best, and then the PSP.
Well, it's good
one
that
was
they're
awesome,
doing
too.
that. Everybody wants to personalize their stuff. I mean, it's the way it is, right? So they're going to be getting that, which is great. This one is also Xbox news and sort of struck me as odd. And I did talk to an Xbox rep because, I'm basically a VIP now. White Master Chief Bundle announced for Brazil with no plans of American release. Now, I find that weird, first off.
Duh.
The US retail price in Brazil is $850.
Yeah.
But everything in Brazil is more expensive.
Yep.
So that's probably, it would be the same price here. But because of, the only way I can think of that they're not bringing this to the US is they know they don't need to, and instead of giving like a fan service, they're going to sell tons of games instead of giving the game away for free with an Xbox purchase.
Yeah.
Which I don't like that.
No.
I really, really wanted a Master Chief Collection bundle. But they know now that I'm going to buy freaking Xbox and then buy the game.
What they're going to be doing, and this is the way I see it, and this to me this makes sense in a marketing standpoint. This edition in Brazil, cool. That means they are currently working on the limited edition Halo 5 Xbox One bundle that they will be releasing to us.
Of course, they're going to have a Halo
And
5 Xbox,
that one's a
custom
no-brainer.
Xbox and stuff. But I don't want to wait that long.
I know what
That's
you
my
mean.
problem. Like, because now I've actually toyed with the idea of should I wait to own one until Halo 5 comes out in like 2017 because
May next year, I think.
Um,
Before or after E3, obviously.
no, it'll be holiday next year would be my guess, Q4.
November.
November-ish.
Again, just like Halo 4
yeah,
did.
that would be my guess.
Gross.
My problem with that is I don't want to wait a year. I want to play the
Yeah.
Master Chief Collection. So I was really disappointed at that. I do get it from a business standpoint because now anybody who wanted a limited edition bundle is still going to buy an Xbox and buy the game. So they're just going to end up spending more money with Microsoft. But man, would it ever been nice to get a bundle, especially since they're announcing it in another part of the world where they probably don't sell near as much.
Well, to give you an example, just to base off this, is at work, I sold one to a couple who have kids that come, like, they have kids coming from different countries, live in their house for so long, whatever. They have a certain amount of money they're like to bring back when they go back to their country of origin. This kid was from Brazil, came, bought an Xbox 360 here because it's like half the price of what it is from where he is.
And
right?
I get that. I get that. It's more expensive in Brazil. So maybe they can afford to do it, and they're trying to promote buying it because there's such a margin there.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Exactly.
Basically, this was my rant of why we're not getting one, and I don't like it.
Flip the table.
Yes.
Rage.
Well, don't flip it. There's a lot of expensive stuff on the table. Let's do a different table.
Don't worry about it.
Next piece of news. Minecraft Vita European release date is confirmed October 15th. It's not my cup of tea, but I know a lot of people who are waiting for Minecraft on Vita. It's weird that they announced the European one. Maybe it's bigger over there. I don't know, but they need to announce it here because there's a lot of people I know that are really excited for Minecraft on Vita. And actually, oddly enough, I know one person who's never played Minecraft but really thinks it's going to work well on a handheld. So they really want to do that, and not the stupid pocket versions you can get on like iOS and Android and things like that.
Some of the major websites are saying not yet confirmed for North America. One of them's saying the day before, so tomorrow, the 14th.
Wow, if they did
Is that a credible source? Like, are you reading that from The Onion? Because if you are, then don't. But
I won't give a plug to a.
No, I'm not saying give a plug, but I'm just saying, is it a website that you can
We're not
trust?
even in the same realm as any
Polygon
of those yet.
Polygon announced the 14th.
But you didn't have to say the name. You could just say, yes, it's a credible source.
Stop arguing, children. We got to move on. All right, Drive Club PS Plus version delayed. Any surprises to anybody at this table?
None.
No.
None whatsoever, because this game was delayed for almost an entire year, and now they're basically saying, well, the PS Plus version is going to be free, so we're just going to put that on the back burner.
Now, there's two options to this, in my mind. Back burner. Gotcha. I'm getting the death there. Moving on.
Star Wars arcade game is coming called
Yes.
Battle Pod. It looks freaking awesome.
I want one.
Yeah.
We're going to buy
Have you
one.
seen this, Matt?
No.
Oh,
It is an
looks
arcade
awesome.
game. You get into a pod racer and race.
Yeah.
It looks wicked.
It's about the size of the kitchen.
Which I will admit is probably the only part of that part of the Star Wars trilogy I liked. So, J.J. Abrams, please don't F it up.
So, there's like pod racing. You can fly Darth Vader's TIE Fighter. You can fly X-Wings, the Millennium
everything,
Falcon.
yeah.
Like,
Is this the thing you were talking about earlier that I had no clue what you're talking about?
it looks awesome.
Okay, then, yes.
So, this next part of news is Ubisoft must have the dumbest people in charge.
They do.
So, AC Unity will run at 900p on both systems.
What?
To avoid debate. Basically saying, sorry, the Xbox One can't support 1080p, so we're going to bring the PS4 one down to 900p so that people don't complain. Maybe an update will bring it to 1080p, because the actual person who was quoted on the website I was reading this was like the president or something, and he said it's to avoid debate. And then they quickly came back and said, no, it's just because it's optimization and stuff, which they're obviously lying.
It's the funny thing is that, you'll be able to run it at 1080p down the road, maybe, for like an update or something like that. It's just going to cost you $2.50.
Yeah, because they charge for everything. It'll come free with a costume pack.
For $20.
There are no costume packs. It's not costume.
There wasn't Black Flag.
It's Uplay. You use your Uplay points that you get from in-game.
Yeah, but I don't really play the games, so...
Does have a point.
So you just pay for your upgrades that you're supposed to unlock anyway.
Anyway, it doesn't matter. It's really dumb. I get that the systems... Like, Microsoft's doing a great job unlocking the system as it went, because they had to make some drastic changes before it released.
God.
So they're still working on that. And it's phenomenal what they've come.
They pretty much did PR cleanup from day one.
Yes,
since they announced
exactly.
Xbox
As soon
One,
as they announced it. So all that stuff that they're doing, they've unlocked now the Kinect. So if you don't want to use the Kinect at all, you can use that towards the CPU stuff, and you can actually make the game run faster.
Saying it to register
like
games
Master
they get on
Chief
PC.
Collection, I believe, is going to be 1080.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
you can do it. No problems there. But instead of Ubisoft doing that, they're just, we'll just downclock the PS4 to 900p. That's no problem. But that doesn't make any sense, because there are people out there, unfortunately, that truly believe that the difference between 900p and 1080p is like noticeable. I can see it because of my profession, but it's gameplay over graphics or anything like that. There are so many things that go into a game. This is just really stupid, though, because everybody knows you can do it on one system, so they downclock it to make it easier for themselves and then lie about why they're doing it. Anyway, Ubisoft, stop.
Get some good people to work for you.
Yes, get some people who know how to actually make a public announcement.
Yeah, I might have.
Yeah, you slipped the F.
I slipped the F word in there.
That's all right.
Pardonnez-moi.
I just write down the time so we can bleep him out with a Mario coin. Bling. All right. Harvest Moon 3D Lost Valley release date, November 4th. My birthday, for if anybody wants to send money. Can't wait. Harvest Moon's a great game.
Never played it.
You've never played?
No.
Oh my God, they're so. Have you played Harvest Moon?
It's been forever.
I know. The last one I played was on
The
holy
Sega
crap,
Genesis?
It was either Nintendo 64, I think.
That makes
Anyway,
sense.
super cool game. Definitely going to be getting this, especially for my fiance who will love it.
Like, I thought, isn't the premise like you're a farmer on the moon?
No.
Can I fire? No. Sam, you're fired.
No, Sam. The premise is you're a farmer in general, and you
Okay.
build up your farm, and you slowly grow more crops, and you build a bigger farm.
It's like
and
Animal Farm.
It's like
Okay.
Animal Crossing almost a little bit, but
Not Animal. What's that one that's?
Farmville.
Farmville?
Yes.
Yeah.
Except for not like Farmville at all, because it doesn't spam everybody with annoying crap, which is one of the reasons I don't have Facebook.
Well, you mean it's not full of viruses?
Right, exactly. Well, it comes on a cartridge. There's no viruses in the cartridge. Nintendo makes sure of that before they send it out. All right,
I'm
Smash
picturing
Bros.
like
Smash Bros. Wii U release date revealed November 21st, and it will launch with Amiibo. Thank God. I don't care what the Amiibos do. I want the statues. That's all I care about.
Me too.
Yeah,
Add to my collection.
the Mario one. I want that so bad. He's got the fire and stuff in his hand. It looks awesome.
We're gonna need a whole new bookshelf.
Listen, don't worry about the bookshelf space.
I've got plenty of spots that I can put more statues.
When I buy my house and we get a podcasting room, we will have an entire wall dedicated to paraphernalia from video games.
Is there a Yoshi?
There is a Yoshi. There's 12 to launch. There's a Yoshi, a Pikachu, Donkey Kong, Mario, Princess, Link, obviously. Like all the major characters from Smash Bros. That are super well known are there.
What are you doing?
Making a face at Link.
Oh,
Like-
making a face at Link. I thought you were making a
What
Yoshi.
do you got against Link?
He's a little girl.
Okay. There's a whole following of people that
And
actually
we just lost half of our followers.
that follow that he may be a girl. So, and the new trailer for the new Zelda game next year, a lot of people are speculating that Link is going to be a girl in this,
It's-
or it's Zelda.
It's like the same thing. It's like the same thing with Team Fortress 2, the Pyro. Everyone thinks it's a girl.
Wouldn't that be
Everyone thinks it's a
interesting if you
guy.
made The Legend of Zelda and the main character was actually Zelda? That'd be cool.
Gasp.
It would be.
Or
It
change
would
it
be
to
neat.
The Legend of Link.
No, see, that doesn't have enough ring to it.
It doesn't roll off.
And
the
it
tongue as
ruins
much, yeah.
everything.
Yeah,
Don't
it does.
change anything. Ignore what I just said. All right.
Because they're making noise.
Next bit of news, Sony's new flagship PS4 Remote Play smartphone releases in US October 23rd. I wanted to bring that up only because it's crazy that a smartphone is going to be able to do remote play from your PS4. That's where we are. Like, you're going to have a phone. Unfortunately, it's an Android phone.
Yeah. So what? Something Android does better than iPhone?
No. We don't know how it's
What?
going to work yet.
What?
But no, it is very cool that you can have a phone, and instead of having to buy a Vita, you just get a phone, which everybody has anyway, and you can do the remote play.
I don't. Now that we say that, I don't think it's going to work based off the fact there are a lot less buttons on a phone than there are on a Vita.
Yeah, you can get I think you can get an adapter or
Like a
something.
case.
Like
Is
it
going
comes
to
with
be
a,
like the Sony Ericsson phone from like 5 years ago that was the PSP.
yeah, doubtful.
What I'm
Or
thinking,
probably as the same. Anytime there's something like this, I'm always quite skeptical
Sony
about.
Xperia Z3 Transformer Edition. It just transforms into a controller into your hands.
I think we're a little bit away from that. Yeah.
That same noise and everything. Yep.
So this next bit of news comes to the. I know a lot of people are upset about it. I guess what I'm trying to say. Hotline Miami 2 is going to be delayed 2014 or early 2015. I know a lot of people who really like that game. I've actually never played it,
Neither
but
have
it's
I.
a few people. It's like their most anticipated game. It's going to be delayed a little bit. We're getting a lot of those lately. A lot of game delays, a lot of stuff like
Look,
that. people need to stop announcing their release dates like a year out.
People need to stop overreacting over the fact, oh, the game's delayed. Okay, yes, they can't make the game any worse.
No,
if anything, they can make the game better if it's delayed.
I'm a firm believer that if you want to delay the game to make it better,
cool.
I'm good with that.
Awesome.
But why are you giving us a release date a year away?
Now, if you're delaying a game to completely rework it, and I'm looking to Rainbow Six, don't do that.
Right.
That just makes me want to cry.
This is what I'm saying. Like, when they announced Batman, they had a trailer for
Yeah.
it, for Arkham Knight, which actually looks really good. Okay.
Yeah, well-
the game looks beautiful. It looks phenomenal. And I know, Matt, you're going to get it because you're a giant fan of the series. All that stuff.
I'm going to play it.
Yeah, I'm going to get it too. I think it looks like a great game.
The Rocksteady portion of the series. Let's get that right. Rocksteady portion.
The only
Right.
one I didn't play was Origins.
Is that the one the Origins wasn't made by them?
That game does not exist.
It doesn't exist. Gotcha. So anyway, basically what I'm trying to say is that this game had a trailer, and when they announced the release date of, it was originally for October or something.
Yeah, October 24th.
You knew for a fact that it wasn't going to come out in October.
No.
And even everybody knew it. And then, of course, 2 months later, they come with a delay. They knew it wasn't going to come out in October. They're just trying to create hype. Stop doing that.
Yeah.
Like, Bloodborne is perfectly done. So was Little Big Planet 3. Right? So you have Bloodborne that comes out, and they announce, hey, we have Bloodborne. It's going to be out in 8 months.
Yeah.
Which is great because nobody even knew it existed. Little Big Planet 3, everybody thought Media Molecule might have been working on Little Big Planet 3. But no, they put it to a third-party developer. We're making Little Big Planet 3. All these new features, all the mats ported over, available in November. Like,
Yeah.
that's how you have to do
That's
things.
what I did. I watched a trailer, the first official trailer for Rainbow Six Patriot when it first did. It was the developers talking about it. Came out in 2012. Didn't hear anything from 2013 at all. Just disappeared. Then this year said, yeah, we completely scrapped that project. Now we got this new thing we're working on. And it's like, why would you do that? Because the trailer, like, even this was on the PS3 and the Xbox 360, it looked amazing.
Right.
Like
But they're creating hype around games that
Yeah.
are either canceled or they're going to delay them. I even found it was too early at, I think it was Gamescom. They announced DayZ was coming to the PS4. They said it's about 3 years away.
Now,
That's so far away.
Yeah.
Like, they're not even done the PC version.
Now I'm
No.
happy with DICE being last year at E3. You show that little tidbit that
And they haven't
2-3
been
second
around
video
since.
from Battlefront. That's it.
Yep.
Nothing else for news now. Now I'm expecting something next at E3 next year.
Of
maybe
course.
some type of in-game footage, maybe just a trailer or something like that. And then I'm probably going to say slated for November, October of next year. So when the game might come out. But honestly, I want another thing like this year. No news whatsoever.
Yeah, there's
I'd rather
another.
it be in 2016.
There are games to that exception.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, Sony had to tease
Yeah.
Uncharted 4.
Oh, yeah.
And Microsoft had to tease. Tease. They had to cheese it. Yeah.
Just
They had to
cheese it.
tease Halo.
Yeah.
Right. So we've had a cinematic Halo 5 teaser for 2 years now, or almost 2 years now.
Yeah.
And we know it's not coming until next year, but they need to tease certain games.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
But games that are like less important, like teasing DayZ to PS4, which is
Yeah.
only going to be, it's going to be a big game, but I think it's going to be a niche game.
Yeah.
And you don't need to tease it before the PC version's even
Yeah.
done. Like, there's, we're porting it to PS4. That's great, but it's not done for PC yet. Like, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And it's starting
PC
to get really annoying.
From what I've heard, the PC one's getting a lot of problems now.
Yeah,
there
of
are
course.
problems
There's-
showing up.
Yeah,
that,
of course they are.
on top of
But
another, so.
that's what happens when a developer says, "Hey, give us $30. You don't have to pay for the game when it comes out."
No,
and
not on that standpoint. It's just, how when it first came out, it was, for what we had, quite smooth. Perfectly. We played it. We had a lot of fun.
Yeah,
They
of
added a couple
course.
more things. We still had fun and whatever. And then, sometimes they have these rough patches where they add some stuff. They're creating more bugs. They fix them. They're steady up everything. Now it's apparently a lot of stuff. When
right,
they're
and
adding
there's a
more
lot of
stuff,
people
there's a
switching
lot
off of it. But
issues
the
going.
problem is that they started with an alpha, and they allowed all these people to play, which gives them a good following and stuff. But now all these people have paid money, and those people are not going to buy the game now. So they sold a lot of copies already.
$32 million.
Yeah, something like that. Anyway, it doesn't matter. They use that money to make the game better. But this is where it's going, right? I think Steam even has like a green light service, which is like a
Steam now has a green light service, and it's been out since before DayZ was the standalone game out. It actually came out at the same time. So what it is that gives a chance for indie developers to put their games on the green light service, let the community pay for whatever game they think is going to succeed. So let's say I can go on my Steam right now,
and I'm
go to the Greenlight one, and there's a game I really like. Cool, drop $5
I'm
on it.
100%
Cool.
okay with that. But when they decided to make a DayZ standalone from a game that made a lot of money anyway from the DayZ mod, and then you ask people to give you money to play an alpha, like that to me doesn't make
Now
a whole lot of sense. It makes it seem like, well, we're gonna make the game anyway, but why don't you give us some money and it'll be easier.
the danger behind the Greenlight service, and this has been happening quite a bit in the last couple months, especially on Steam, is people pay their money. Cool. All these developers promise these things. They literally just grab the money, pack up, and run.
Yeah.
Poof, gone.
Yeah.
Nobody knows where they go. So there's a lot of that type of stuff happening.
Well,
so,
and even the service we're going to use to generate, we're not asking for 50 grand or anything like some of these projects are looking for, right? But our Kickstarter thing is they sent me an email saying they've changed all the rules and stuff, and it's going to protect the people who are pledging to you. and stuff.
Well, it makes sense.
They give you $20 and literally you have to show proof of that it's done and that it's. You can't just take all this money and then not do it. Like we're trying to create a website and a podcast based around it. But again, there's projects out there on Kickstarter. There was a cooler that was up over $10 million. Like,
well, just the guy, I'm making potato salad.
Right. And things like that can't happen, which is why a lot of people were skeptical about Kickstarter stuff. But for people like us who want to get our ideas out there and stuff, it's really, really great. So there are some problems with that. Holy crap, tangent. Like, holy sidetracked.
I stopped paying attention to you guys about 5 minutes ago.
That's not good because that means the viewers have to.
Come on, Matt. You're supposed to pull us back.
All right. Next bit of news, and it's really, really cool, actually. PlayStation will be hosting a 2-day event for fans to immerse them in an exclusive look at the 2015 lineup in preparation for their 20-year anniversary of PlayStation. I think that's awesome. I mean, we're not going to be able to go to it, but I think it's incredibly cool that they're doing some sort of service like that for people.
All right, I'm going to the bank. I'm getting some money. We're going. How about that?
I think it's cool. I think it's great.
We're going to be broke. It's in Vegas.
I'll be back in a bit.
Vegas, baby.
No, we can win all the money back in Vegas. Come on.
Anyway. Well, I don't really know how to do any of those games, so unless it's like from Vegas Vacation where you do like rock, paper, scissors and stuff, I could do that. But
we can do that.
Anyway, extremely cool. That Sony's willing to do something like this. I don't even know if it costs any money, and if it was, it's a small amount. It's not like going to like a convention like a BlizzCon. I paid $175 for my ticket to that, which is still pretty cheap. But some of these conventions, like our goal is to try and get to E3 at some point, and if you don't have a free pass like some of the major games media websites, then you pay $800 for 3 days. Like, that's insane.
Yay.
Yeah.
Take my left arm.
But I will give them that money if they let me go.
Or my kidney.
So let us go.
I only need one.
Next bit of news, Destiny's Iron Banner is their weekly event this week.
It ends tonight.
Which is supposed to be a really cool event. That they ran basically takes all of the gear that you've accumulated. So if you're a high-end raider and have lots of good gear, you dominate.
You make me cry like a little girl.
The problem is that there are people going in at level 4 and doing just as well. Now, that cannot just be skill. Like, if you have tons of armor and full legendary, a level 4 shouldn't be able to kill you in 3 hits.
The funny thing he's a level 28 paladin with random. I'm going on.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. So anyway, things like that need to be. That's the first time I've heard a lot of, other than of course like the story kind of sucks in Destiny and things like that. That's the first kind of bad press I had. I know the Queen's event was really popular. Everybody loved that and the way it ran.
Until they took away the fact you couldn't get shards.
Yeah, but that needed to happen.
It did.
Because otherwise people were just farming and getting all sorts of upgrades.
You used to be able to spend, one day. It was down. It was taken out after 4 hours, I think. You could use your spin metal, your spirit bloom, and all that to pay Zor for strange coins.
Right.
People were doing it.
Yeah, of course.
Using it heavily. So
I know, like, I used to play World of Warcraft, and you have no idea how long people would farm for things. Like, it's part of that type of culture, right?
Yeah.
And I think actually Destiny does a very good job of making it not take that long to get that stuff. Anyway, so they need to make sure they're doing that stuff right. Otherwise,
just to go back one step,
yeah,
I did find the price. $90 for 2 days.
That's awesome. That's so great. So the lucky people who get to go to that pay $90. They get an exclusive look at a 2015 lineup. They get that's just phenomenal fan service from Sony, who are right now like killing it. It's almost as if they can do no wrong. It's ridiculous.
Are they digging the grave for Microsoft, or is Microsoft digging it themselves?
Probably a little bit of both at the moment. Now, again, I know we come across as Sony fanboys sometimes. Halo.
Business side of things, like, come on.
Halo will save Microsoft's Xbox hands down. It is one of the best games of all time and has so many fans built up from it. To have a next-gen Halo, and then, of course, taking all the ones that we grew up with and saying, hey, we're giving you an entire collection for the price of one game.
I have a buddy who doesn't understand why I'm so excited for MCC, and I'm like, I haven't played Halo since like 2008. Like, I haven't played a Halo game since then.
Right.
I don't have a 360 anymore. I can't go back and play the games that I grew up playing.
Right.
I'm excited. I'm pumped.
No, exactly.
And especially for an upscaled texture version of Halo 3. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well,
Yeah,
and Halo 2
happy.
I'm a little bit older than you, and Halo 2 was my big,
Yeah.
like, the first online experience I had. So that type of fan service is incredible by them, and super smart, because they're like, crap, we're not going to have Halo 5 until 2015. What do we do? Let's put a team on making the whole collection.
What are your
That's how
thoughts,
you do
Matt?
that.
You look like you have thoughts
I'm
there.
crying because I'm so much older than everybody. my first experience is I was in, I think, first year university playing Halo 1 on Legendary, staying up half the night doing that.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. Now,
old.
I remember that, but the first true memories I have of Halo is Halo 2.
I remember.
And I played Halo 1, like, I played it. I didn't actually have an Xbox. I had to go to my friend's, and he turned me on to Halo, and I was just like, holy crap, this game is better than anything I have on my PS2.
I remember when Halo
Insane.
first came out. Actually, no, that'll be my story.
Okay.
There we go. I got my story.
Next bit of news, Wolf Among Us has a release date November 4th. I'm really excited to play these Telltale games.
Same.
I have other games I need to play first, but those are going to be some ones that I just...
You can power through the whole story in one day if you really want.
Yeah, so I'm really excited to play the Walking Dead series that they have both seasons
gorgeous.
And Wolf Among Us. So very excited that they're bringing those to the PS4. I think they needed to be to the PS4. Yeah, super
the Walking
excited for
Dead
that.
one is going to. It's gonna make you cry.
Probably. I cry a lot in video games. So, Powers, the show that is coming out for PlayStation Plus members.
PlayStation Plus, PlayStation TV. They announced it at E3.
Looks interesting.
Looks really good. Super excited. I'm also love comic books and stuff. Downside is, and they haven't changed anything they've said about it yet, it's exclusive to American customers so far.
I imagine because of Canada's really crazy copyright laws, that's the problem they're having. It's the same reason why our Netflix is nowhere near as strong as the American. Hopefully they get that sorted out, because I would like to see it. I think the concept is really cool. It's about two superheroes that lost their powers, and now they
One
that
is a
lost
super,
okay,
and as a cop, and they investigate all the other
superhero murders.
superhero murders, crimes, things
Okay,
like that.
it looks really cool.
It's also got the main guy in it is the guy from District 9.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's that guy.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
I like
so,
him.
He's awesome.
And Michael Bendis, the actual person that did the stories and stuff for the comics, is instead of being taken apart like most shows and things do, he's right there with them.
Right on.
So
it should be good. Next bit of news: PS Move support for Grand Theft Auto 5. Why?
Matt, thoughts?
why?
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 That's the thought.
That's the
Why
thought.
do you need it? The first person thing was cool when they added that.
Yeah.
Oh, first person mode? Great. That's really cool. But why do you need like motion
Move
controls?
to me makes sense.
No, it doesn't. Stop.
Wait, let me explain.
No.
Okay.
Explain then.
Pardon my
Explain.
French, but you. Let me explain. Sense is flying planes, helicopters, and all that, especially on the 360 version, the 360 and PS3 version, was if you didn't have the skills for it, it sucked. Like, I was really bad at it just because of the analog sticks and all that stuff. If they're doing PlayStation Move where you tilt your controller left, your plane banks left, tilt your controller right, plane banks right, type thing, to me that makes sense. I can see that. Any other format for it, unless they're planning on doing the whole PlayStation Move gun thing, so you can walk around with your gun in your hands, like, okay, maybe, but I don't see it either. But the flying portion of it makes sense.
If we're talking the the new PS4 PlayStation camera and the light bar
Yes.
to do left and right, I'm okay. What I'm reading is that it's your PS3 Move style controller with a big ball of light is what's being used for it.
Sorry, you mean the dildo looking thing? And I'm not gonna
Yeah.
blatant.
Yes, that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
So weird.
so why is it needed? It's
Now I
not
don't
is the
know.
answer.
Wave your
Another
wand.
piece of news. There's a Final Fantasy 14 Game of the Year edition come out, which will include all the patches. That's actually going to be really nice for people who don't want to wait for a download of crazy amounts of gigabytes of data. Will also come with a 90-day subscription, a printed art book, and cards. It will be PC only though, so unfortunately for console people, that's not going to
It's up to date, and
affect them in
apparently
any
it's
way.
it's all for the upcoming launch of the 2.4 patch, which will add new characters, add chocobo racing, a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah, it's good that they do stuff like that. World of Warcraft was always very good whenever they release a
Yep.
new expansion.
Well,
everything is on the disc.
To me makes sense basically because they're gonna have the 2.4. We'll have 2.4.5 or whatever they want to call it, and then 2.5 is gonna be the actual first DLC expansion where you have to pay money to get. Because up until now, every bit of content they've released in the last year has been free.
Yeah.
So they've
Right, so they're not giving you
massive.
any paid content or anything.
No.
They're just making it easier.
But I think
and I should rephrase what I said. World of Warcraft never gave it to you on a disc, but when you installed the expansion, it was one patch to do the entire
exactly.
game. So
And this
they
is the
combined
same
it all.
thing. It's gonna be one patch, right?
Yeah. So this is that staggering stat I mentioned earlier about Destiny, which is crazy to me because the only one that even comes close to these numbers in a lot of ways is World of Warcraft. But Destiny right now is averaging 3.2 million users per day.
Freaking
That is
insane.
a huge
That's
number.
nuts. It's insane.
And to
That's
me,
insane.
that must spike on Fridays when Zora's up. That
Yeah.
just goes through the roof.
The whole point though is
Ugh.
that World of Warcraft has I think it's down. It's like 7 million concurrent subscribers or current subscribers. I don't know why I use the other word. Right now. So that's also a lot of money, but to have 3.2 million console people, like I don't think there's been a game that's come close to that. Maybe Call of Duty for multiplayer, but it's a different thing.
I don't think
But
so.
probably not.
No.
Now, my question to you guys, how long do you think that's going to last now that we're out of the drought? We're going into quarter 4 for video games, which is always the biggest quarter of the year.
Expensive.
Right. It's expensive. It's the expensive time of year for all gamers. But do you think that 3.2 million people a day is going to continue? Like, even myself, I've noticed I played Destiny once in the last week because Alien Isolation came out.
I'd say it'll drop.
It'll drop, but probably still it'll drop, but it'll stay between 3.2 and probably 2 million easily
Okay.
until something as big as Call of Duty comes out, which is a couple weeks away.
Yep.
But I don't think it's going to fluctuate that much.
My thought
in my
is with
mind.
the games all coming out, I actually would bet that they're going to get down to under 1 million. I know it's a long ways away, but Alien Isolation is not a big game.
No.
Okay, not compared to other games. When Call of Duty come out and Master Chief Collection comes out, Destiny's not going to be touched on an Xbox. People are going to be playing Master Chief Collection.
Yeah.
And then PlayStation users once and I don't know how many exclusives we have this year, but most of this stuff that's coming out, like even Call of Duty to an extent, is going to pull people away from Destiny. And then people that have multiple consoles like myself for Wii U, once Smash Bros comes out, that's what I'm going to be doing.
Well, just I can tell you because I don't think you wrote it down in the news, but something that I'll mention is because of MCC, 400 achievements totaling 4,000 gamer score achievement points. I'm probably not touching Destiny until I get
and this is what I'm saying.
4,000
now,
points.
Smash Bros is going to come out, and I'm going to be doing that, which I'm going to need to after playing the Alien Isolation, then Evil Within, because I'm going to need something colorful and happy. But there's a lot of games coming out, and Destiny had the market for over a month, with nothing coming out. So, an Alien Isolation, as I mentioned, and even the Evil Within is not a game that you can play Destiny on the side, because everybody has a game they're playing 100%, and then that side game they play, right?
Yeah.
You always have that game you go to. It's man, I really don't want to play Destiny right now, so I'm gonna go
Forza.
play this. Right, exactly. Yeah, so I anticipate it's going to go down when the expansion comes out. The first expansion will be hugely successful. You'll get a whole bunch of people that'll play it, and then you'll probably stay low in people actually logging on until you get to that next big patch, like when Diablo changed their whole scheme of itemization and things like that. Once that happened, everybody went back to that game.
Yeah.
So
just to bring it back quickly to MCC, just because I know you guys know, but you guys know all those old glitches they had in the Halo games. So, like for example, in Halo 3, riding the Scarab, in driving the Pelican in Halo 1, and all that stuff. Like those old glitches that were there, they kept them. They've turned those into achievements.
Yeah. So
Achievement in Halo 1, ride the Pelican. Achievement in Halo 3, ride the Scarab.
nice.
Like it's gonna be.
It's gonna be really cool.
I'm excited.
But I
Shut up and take my money.
yeah, I think Destiny is a great gameplay game. Obviously, the story is lacking. I really don't think they're gonna keep this up for much longer, because the more I talk to people, the more I hear like, yeah, I don't really feel like playing it tonight and stuff like that. Good thing is though, it lasted longer than Titanfall. All right, next
That's
bit of
fair.
news. Sony's going to be releasing their PS4 in China.
December tentatively.
December tentatively. It is cool. Xbox just went on sale in China, and they actually had some excitement around it. So that's good. I mean, we're getting gamers all over the world now. Yeehaw!
Next thing you know, maybe 2-3 years from now, there'll be a gaming lag app on the Xbox One and the PS4.
Absolutely. And before we finish the news, we're going to go over the games that are coming out this Tuesday, so tomorrow. PS4 list, Evil Within. Can't wait. Looks so good.
I'm going to be so broke this week.
Yep.
Whole lot of
Walking Dead Season 1.
I already have it. I'm
Sleeping
buying it
Dogs
again.
Definitive Edition. Please don't support the direct ports of last-gen games without adding any goddamn content. Peggle 2 is coming out.
I'm getting that.
Yeah, that's an awesome game.
It's so fun.
And Duck Dynasty. I know that's the blockbuster this week. I left it to the end. Yeah. I don't know how you make a game from Duck Dynasty, but...
What is it? Is it a remake of that Duck Hunt game they used to have?
That would be awesome.
Can you imagine? I cannot. I still haven't...
I have to find out what this is.
You guys haven't played Smash Bros. For 3DS, have you?
No.
Duck Hunt Dog is awesome. He's like the best character ever. He like Snickers and stuff, just like in before. Xbox One, Evil Within, Walking Dead Season 1, Dance Central Spotlight, which I know is a really big game, Sleeping Dogs again, and Duck Dynasty. Vita, the only game I could find was Senran Kagura Shinobi Versus.
I know certain words that are in that.
Yeah, there's
Say it
some
again.
English in there. Senran Kagura Shinobi, or Shinobi, one or the other, Versus.
Versus is the only thing I understand of
Yeah.
that. Yep.
So
Cool.
I'm assuming it's a fighting game.
Cool.
PS3, Evil Within, Walking Dead Season 2 as a bundle, I believe that's what they mean. Borderlands, the pre-sequel. Pac-Man Ghostly Adventures 2. Tears of Tierra 2. Heir of the Overlord. And Duck Dynasty. I wanted to ask you guys about this. How do you think Borderlands, the pre-sequel, is going to do? I guess for all those people that don't have anything to play on, like, and they don't have a next-gen console, maybe. I think they made a huge mistake.
Why that it's not coming to next gen?
That it's not going to next gen.
I know
instead.
why it's not coming to next gen.
Why?
Which is the only reason it makes sense. Because they're going to be working on Borderlands 3.
Okay.
So they're going to save Borderlands for the next gen. They're going to save it for to be the next era of Borderlands.
I don't think this game is going to do that well. Maybe it will.
I know I'm
going
going to be.
But
I know I'm going to be playing it on PC.
I have to finish the story.
this is
Well,
the
it's
pre-sequel.
sequel.
Yeah, but
So you wanted to bridge the gap
Is it?
between
This
1
is
and
a
2?
bridge.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
literally, I've been debating maybe play
it's
Borderlands 1 this next couple of days, pre-sequel, then beat 2
All this
again.
stuff is well and
Woohoo!
good. You're probably not going to though, because Destiny and Forza Horizon 2.
we're gonna
Basically-
find
Really-
we're gonna find 6 people tonight. We're gonna finish the raid finally.
Xbox
We're gonna-
360,
we're
Evil
gonna bring
Within.
them over.
Stop. I'm going over games. Xbox 360, Evil Within, Walking Dead Season 2, Borderlands pre-sequel, Pac-Man Ghostly Adventures 2, and Duck Dynasty. Wii U, Pac-Man, Ghostly Adventures 2, Ballpoint Universe Infinite, October 16th, Lone Survivor, Director's Cut, October 16th, Ping 1.5 Plus, October 16th, while Matt dies, Paper Monsters Recut, October 16th, I believe those are all downloadable games, by the way. And Nintendo 3DS, Pets Countryside, Pets Beach, Pac-Man, Ghostly Adventures 2, Pop Tropica, Forgotten Islands, and Duck Dynasty.
Cool.
Good Lord.
And I don't know what Duck Dynasty is.
What is it?
You get to become a Robertson, which I guess is the family name of the people.
Yeah.
Through activities like fishing, airboat racing, and of course, duck hunting. There's also a first-person duck calling mode.
Wow. They know how to sell that game.
So-
Listen, we got to stop the news section because we're at 50 minutes.
You forgot one game.
What game?
PC. Borderlands 3 sequel. Done.
I don't do PC on this.
Well, that's the only game that really matters on PC right now.
Listen, if I did the PC one, I would have to have a whole page just for PC.
I know. That's why I'll take care of the PC ones and pick
Go
the big
look it
ones.
up, people. I'm only helping you with console stuff.
Just because it's easier for us.
Yes. We'll be right back. We're going to go over a wrap-up. Again, I know it's going a bit long this week, but we haven't been here for 2 weeks, so see you in a second.
You missed us.
And welcome back to the Lagg Spike podcast. We're running a bit long this week, but again, we missed last week. This week, in our wrap-up, we wanted to actually talk about... I'll just start with a story. Last week, I went away for work, and surprisingly enough, I ended up in a really random situation where I was able to play all sorts of games that aren't released yet. So I was able to play Smash Brothers for Wii U, Yoshi's Woolly World, Bayonetta 2, Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, The Order 1886, Bloodborne, Little Big Planet 3, and Sunset Overdrive.
And again, I hate you.
Right.
And again, every single game you've played, I hate you a little more. Being very verbal this week. I'm sorry, but
Let me write down that time.
frustration.
You piece of crap. This was probably one of the most exciting things that's happened to me as far as gaming goes. I've never been. It sort of made me feel like we were those like VIP people from, not VIP people, but people from games media sites that get to play these games early and go to E3 and stuff. So it was really, really cool. And that sort of got me onto the topics of, and brought back some memories of like really, really awesome experiences we had while gaming. Yeah, so this week we're going to go over our favorite gaming stories from either childhood or back in the day. But first, I should tell you that all those games I mentioned feel great and awesome.
Except Sunset Overdrive.
Sunset Overdrive still looks and feels great, but it doesn't... Yeah. It seems like it would get boring so fast because there's not a lot of depth in it. They gave you a whole bunch of different guns and stuff to use in the demo that I played, but it didn't really matter.
So it's one of those games where you'll be playing it, and then all of a sudden you'll be like, squirrel.
Yeah, it's one of those games that you're just like, okay, I did a level, that's cool. I bounced around on some trees and some tarps and grinded some random stuff. Like I get the appeal of it, but it just seems to me like there's not gonna be enough depth.
Cool.
So for me, I was just, I'm going to move away from that. Did play Smash Bros. For probably about 25 minutes, which I was super excited about.
Pikachu!
Yeah, I was definitely him, but Mario's actually on the 3DS version been my favorite, so I played as him a lot as well, playing against one of the reps that were at this event. And it feels really good, looks beautiful, can't wait. And then the PlayStation games. Oddly enough, the Bloodborne game I became more excited for Bloodborne than The Order after playing both of them, which is weird because I actually didn't really care about Bloodborne all that much. But it's just, I don't know. The gameplay feels great, and the art style is phenomenal. Not to say I'm not excited about The Order, but and Little Big Planet 3, I'm a big Little Big Planet player. So anyway. It was a really, really great experience.
Is the dog from Duck Hunt and the
Smash
Wii U version?
Yes. Yeah. Didn't have it unlocked, but I know for a fact it is.
So friendship's over? Is that what we're saying when the game is actually released?
Friendships are over
Nah,
because
man,
I'm going to slaughter all of
It's
you.
fine because we're going to record it. We're going to post it on the website about us, ending our friendship playing this. It's going to be great.
What's the website?
Oh, gaminglag.com.
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
Up there.
You missed it.
Yeah,
It's fine.
you missed your chance for a plug. We had to blatantly tell you. Anyway, that was probably the coolest experience I've had in recent memory, but there are some awesome stories that we have, and it's sort of why we love gaming. So I'm going to start with Matt. Why don't you tell us a little bit about one of your favorite gaming moments?
It's actually hard to pick one favorite right out just because I've been playing for so long. Because I am the old man here. Started on the Atari.
How's your back feel?
I'm gonna kill you.
It's true, guys. He is old.
Gonna have a cane here soon.
But we love him just as much.
So I'm actually gonna go way back to and date myself a little bit just for my age. One of my favorite gaming experiences it actually came out of watching a movie. Was watching The Wiz when I was little. I don't know if you guys know what that is.
The Wiz?
I think that was before I was born.
Yeah, probably.
The Wiz. Interesting.
Just kidding.
It's a little kid. He gets to play all these games. He's not all there. I don't know if he's autistic or what he is.
Is that the one that had the Nintendo, the Power Glove?
Yes, it's the one with the Power Glove.
All right. No, I know what it is.
So watched that, saw the Super Mario Bros. 3 in that, and I was just like, oh my god, I want that game. And my dad at the time had been away for business. He came back late one night, woke up me and my sister, showed us he had Super Mario 3 for it, and I don't think we slept that night. We just kept playing through and fighting over who was going to be able to beat the next level, and finally beating that game. That was probably one of my favorite experiences.
It's really cool to have a parent like that supportive too, like to wake you up in the middle of the night when you're a kid. And just to play that game. We'll go to you in a second, but I actually think that's a really good segue because mine also involves a parent.
You're saying I don't have parents?
No, I'm saying that it's a good segue. I don't know what your story
My parents
is.
believe gaming is the evil anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Right. So my mom is probably one of the, well, obviously everybody says, a lot of people say this about their own mom, but my mom's very cool, especially when it comes to gaming. And back on Nintendo 64, I was, I think, just before high school, playing Star Fox 64 and getting super frustrated. I was trying to unlock this on foot mode, and for those of you who don't know, it was one of the hardest things to unlock back then because it was get a medal on every planet, which is to get enough enemies down without losing. Like, it was hard because you had to shoot a lot of enemies and stuff and upgrade your lasers and make sure you had the right equipment and stuff throughout the whole game, even though the game only took about 30 minutes to beat. But you did all that, and then you unlocked expert mode, and then expert mode was if you touched anything, you would lose your wing and your blasters, and you had to medal it on all of those levels, every single map, so every single warp you had to take. And I got to expert mode, no problem. I could not beat like 8 of the levels. All of a sudden, I come home, and it's all medaled. Everything is done on foot mode is unlocked because my mom had been playing without even telling us during the day while we were at school and stuff, and she had actually gotten quite good. And I actually remember it being extremely funny that I'm just like, man, my mom just unlocked. Like that's really weird. The other thing that was really funny about this story is that I remember Nintendo Power. Do you guys remember that magazine?
I had a subscription.
Me too, and I got it every month.
Best magazine.
Best magazine ever. It was what I looked forward to. Okay, yeah. and I loved it. I actually got mine through one of those school programs where they try and get you and I bought a subscription to get points towards other stuff. Anyway, it was great. I loved getting that magazine, and they ran a competition, and I don't know who entered and stuff, but this was back before internet was this big. About who could get the most enemies down in a single run of Star Fox and all that stuff, which was really funny. And I think the winners were like, first place was like 1,900 enemies or something like that, which is a lot. It's a lot of enemies. My mom destroyed all of those people that won that competition. She was in like the 2,300s for enemies down. And I just think that's really cool. On a side note, she's also incredible at Zelda, because those are the only 2 games she's ever played, and she's very good at it. Still to this day has a Wii U and plays the Wii Sports and stuff, or a Wii and plays the Wii Sports and stuff. But she's just one of those super casual gamers that only plays it like randomly, but whatever she plays so much that she gets like, she could be the champion of that game. It's ridiculous. So that's probably one of my favorite stories. Sam, why don't you tell us one of yours?
All right, well, I'm talking about a console that was actually older than me, known over in Japan as the Sega Mega Drive.
Oh, yeah.
Over here, Sega Genesis. the first console I ever owned, and I ever played. The first game I ever played, and never beat it. Still haven't to this day. Wish I could, but I don't have one. Is the Lion King game.
The wrong Lion King game. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever. Okay.
The Sega Lion King game.
Lion King game, which was actually really fun, really challenging itself.
Yeah.
Because
all those games were back then.
Because there's no autosave.
Well,
There was no
there's
such thing
auto
as an
save,
autosave.
and you had 3 lives. You could get extra lives. They're really hard to get. You lost all 3 lives. You got to start right back at the start. I can tell you, I hated the goddamn bugs. I think it was like a ladybug or something. Bitch.
Okay.
God. But I remember me and my friend one night, we sat down and we said, all right, we're finally going to beat this. It's going to happen. So we sat there for like the whole night and just played it, continued dying, just all this, just trial and error continuously over and over again. Eventually we almost got, I think the farthest we made it was the hyena boss, which is the first boss. And then that's always where I die. I could never get
This
past
attributes
that,
to why Sam's not good at games even today.
In my defense, that game was really hard.
Like that brings back lots of memories for me because I remember playing the Aladdin game on the real system, Super Nintendo. I remember playing the Lion King game on Super. Those games were not easy.
No,
there was no such thing as an autosave, and like video games are the only thing that can literally piss you off, spit you out, and you still buy them.
I played the FIFA game on the Genesis. I played the racing game. What was it? It's what was that one, that motorbike one?
I don't know.
I like motorbikes, and you had like chains, and you punch people and stuff like that.
I remember
Road
that
Rash.
one. Road Rash. Yes.
Yeah, Road Rash.
Yep.
We had a lot of Road Rash.
I actually had oddly enough, my hair cutter had a Sega. I didn't have one, and that's all I played while I was waiting for my brother to get his haircut was Road Rash. It's the only time I ever played that game.
The real racing game was F-Zero though for Super Nintendo.
Yeah, that was great. Or Mario Kart.
What's
one
this
or the
hate?
other.
Like everyone, Super Nintendo. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, listen.
We're elitist.
Sega Genesis is what I had. It's what I had. It's all I could play. It's all my family could afford at the time, and we got it for free. So, I was very grateful about it. It was awesome. Then I got my 360. I'm sorry that I was a shut-in for so long.
And that's a crazy jump, too. And that's just sort of shows the age of me and Matt a little bit because for that, like, for you to jump from a Sega to an Xbox 360 shows how many, like, before you got into gaming. Because you've told me before, you only really became a true gamer
at 16.
At, like, 16.
And I'm 21.
Yeah, exactly. So you haven't experienced Nintendo 64, which I still maintain is one of the best consoles, even though there's fewer games.
I played it. There was still daycare. They had a
of
64.
course.
I played it, but I never played it in the sense of, I got home, I sat down for 6 hours and played Pokemon Coliseum because that's the best one on the 64.
No way. There's so many better games.
Majora's Mask. Okay, I know which
Ocarina of Time.
Yeah,
Star Fox 64. Banjo-Kazooie. Please make another one. I really
please.
want that game. There's so many systems that we grew up with that I think a lot of people are missing. Like when you listen to a lot of video game podcasts and stuff like that, and video games media and stuff, it's a lot of people that, yes, they used to play all these systems and now they play the newer systems, but a lot of people haven't experienced those games before, right? So like this generation gamer is starting at Xbox 360 or higher.
Yeah.
So then
between the Sega and the Xbox,
and it's hard for people to understand with the way that everybody looks at graphics and stuff. It's hard for people to understand. Well, I don't want to go play a Super Nintendo game. That doesn't sound fun because it's so old.
Great,
but it's so great. Like people don't understand that that's when games were written properly, and like Super Metroid, like that game was phenomenal. And you lose that stuff. And that's actually one of the reasons I'm really liking Alien Isolation, because it brings me back to that time where there's no autosave. Now, there is a save, but there's no autosave. Yeah. Like, while you're saving, it can kill you. So you can't just walk up to a save point and be like, oh, God, he's right behind me, save. That's not how it works. It takes 5 seconds to get to the save menu, and he can just put his tail through your chest.
So anybody out there who's got a Sega Genesis or is hoarding away in a closet and you're looking to do something, you want to help the community, you can reach me on Twitter and say I'll gladly take it off your hands. You'll be helping me relive my childhood. Not that was long ago, but
depressing childhood.
Oh, greatness.
But it's funny too that like everybody has different concepts, and me and Matt grew up. Now he's a little bit older than me, but not much. We grew up in the age of Nintendo.
Yeah.
That was the system. Sega was there.
Yeah.
But Nintendo owned the market, and then it was PlayStation owned the market. Then it was Xbox who owned the market, and now we're seeing another sort of shift at the moment. But for right now, right now PlayStation owns the market again.
Yeah.
But you know what? The more I think about it, Nintendo has more games that I'm like super excited about than any of the other systems.
Yeah. And
the problem is they only put games out once every like 2 years.
If they did something, they did it, they would own the market. But they re-released the 64 in an updated version sense. Not like the Wii U, but it'd be like the 64 with cartridges and stuff like that. You know,
well, you can get that stuff. There's a lot of third-party makers that make consoles that'll read like every game.
Yeah, but I mean, like Nintendo releases, and you know what? It's the 64, not in high def picture, but you get to play all these old games they don't make anymore, and they don't need.
It would be cool, but the only thing is that they already kind of have that because you can go to Nintendo's market and buy the 64 versions. And I know that that's not the same thing. What I would really like them to do is them to release here's the list of the 5 best, most talked about Nintendo 64 games that were never released, and actually make them. Yeah. So Mario 128, please. Mario 64, I maintain, is one of the best Marios of all time, if not the best.
I would say the best.
I loved that game.
I played that one, by the way. I played it. So there you go. Don't hate me.
I actually spent hours at a time just riding on the Koopa Shell, not doing any of the story or anything at all, just
I would just do the
Shell.
first world and shoot myself into the air with the hat with wings. It was great. But that's sort of how things have evolved now, and you get these great narrative stories. But nobody... Super Mario 3D World kind of got it, but it was still a level-based system. Nobody's really gotten that three-dimensional platformer since. Like Donkey Kong 64 was a mess, even though I did enjoy it. Banjo-Kazooie 2 I didn't really enjoy nearly as much as the first. The first Banjo-Kazooie was like the best. And Mario 64 in that game, yeah. Oh my God, yes, except for my mom beat that too. So...
I'm not gonna lie, your mom's a badass.
She's just all sorts of badass. Any game that we were having trouble with that was like with cuter characters and stuff, she would just play while we were at school. Because at the time she was, she had 2 kids to take care of, so stay-at-home mom.
I can basically just see her mom. You guys get home, she's just there making supper and say, "Oh, by the way, I beat the game you guys have been struggling on for 3 months."
That's how it would go down.
And you're
I beat the last castle in Zelda. What? What do you mean? Yeah, the Golden Gloves are up here and blah, blah, blah. Like just all sorts of stuff like that.
Crazy.
So I do have, I asked people on Twitter if they wanted to write in. I did get a guy on Twitter that just started following us, and he didn't really send a full letter, but he did say that one of his experiences, and I bring this up sort of going back to the age gap in some gamers. His first experience gaming, and the reason he continues to do it, is because it was Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, which was a phenomenal game. And that is nowhere near where I started gaming. Like, the first game I played was Super Mario Bros. For Nintendo. But the first console I had in my house was a Super Nintendo. So...
when you say Super Mario Bros., do you mean the original?
Original.
Like Donkey Kong throwing the barrels?
No. Okay. That's Donkey Kong.
No, it was called Super Mario.
It was called Super Mario.
Okay, whatever. I'm talking about Super Mario Bros., where you ran through the level and got the flag at the end.
Okay.
Not the jerk monkey that throws barrels at you.
22 effing years.
We're going to move on a little bit because I'd like to plug our Kickstarter that we're going to be launching tomorrow. Basically, we're going to do this podcast every single week. We are going to do video reviews and a few other segments. We're going to be doing video games on trial, which is sort of going to be geared towards any game that has a lot of hype around it and then comes out and is just abysmal as far as what they've promised. Most recent to mind for me would be Destiny or Watch Dogs. We're going to do a video segment where we're actually just going to critique it. We're going to do video reviews that are going to be condensed versions. We're going to have full written reviews as well that we already have on the website. But we're going to do quick 1-minute video reviews just to sort of give you a general context and what the game looks like. We're also going to do, as I mentioned, a weekly podcast, and maybe we'll expand into more things. But the Kickstarter we're going to try and do is just to generate a little bit of money to buy a few pieces of equipment. that are sort of necessary to do this stuff. And then as we go on, we'll be putting our own money into this as well, of course. But the most important thing to know is that we're just like you guys. We're 9 to 5 full-time workers who come home and play video games in any free time that we have. So we're not games media who gets to obsess about all these games 24/7 because that's their job. We're trying.
Not yet, at least.
Not well, and I would never really want to be to that point. I just sort of want to make entertaining content. So we're going to be putting that up and starting it tomorrow. So support us if you listen and subscribe. The link will be directly on the website, as well as our Kickstarter video will be on the website with a direct link underneath it to take you to our Kickstarter page. We do have some prizes lined up. Obviously, you're not going to get a brand new car or anything like that, but we do. Everybody gets a car. If you want a Matchbox car, we can do that. But
Yeah.
yeah, so really we're just asking for some support. If you like us, great. If not, support us anyway.
If not, who cares?
If not, who cares? Just send money. So yeah, support us there. Thanks for listening. This one went a little bit longer, but actually not quite as long as I thought it was going to. Yeah, so we'll be back next week. We're going to be recording Monday nights from now on. Yeah. Anybody else have anything to add to that?
I think that's all.
All right. Sam?
We kept it reeled in, so
Just tell your friends.
Yeah.
If you believe truly in us and you think that we have the potential of being something big, let them know.
There's no if, we do.
Okay, yeah, but I mean, like, for the Kickstarter, like, I want this to reach as many people that it possibly can and see it go I want to see it explode, essentially, is what I would like. I'm not going to crush my dreams if it isn't, but if you guys can help us with that, we'd be super appreciative of it, and we would not forget it. And
yeah,
it's not something
absolutely. Like, we already have a bunch of our friends who are going to help us out and stuff like that, but we are really trying to tailor this to everybody, as opposed to going to a news website and reading news about every little thing. Obviously, we're not gonna we're avoiding sort of that. We go over some of the main parts of news and stuff like that in our podcast, but we're not necessarily going to have articles on all sorts of news and things of that nature.
No, to say it this way, we're not assholes. We're not going to forget the people who helped us get to where we are once, if this thing ends up being as big as it does.
Right. So, I mean, again, we're just starting out, but we have lots of great ideas to create sort of a community of people that really enjoy gaming, that use it. It's their passion, right? So there are millions of gamers in the world. We are 3 of them, and again, yeah. So, yeah.
That's all we got.
So Twitter handles, if you want to follow me personally, you can follow me at Chalicist on Twitter.
And because of a lot of pressure from people, I actually have a new Twitter handle. It's ManWTheBeard, just so it kind of coincides with how I'm introduced each week.
Same with me, just because I've outgrown the sandwich in me, I guess. It's now Mr. Gloom and Doom.
And as always, you can follow us as a collective group on Twitter at Gaming Lagg, 2 G's in Lagg. You can also write to us if you ever have questions or comments. We've actually haven't had anybody write in yet, so if you can send us ideas and things like that, that'd be great. We like to take feedback as well. If your email just says "you guys suck," that's your feedback, I guess. But
cool. We'll put it on our wall. We'll put
it on our wall. But no, generally the consensus is pretty positive. You can write to us at gaminglag at hotmail.com, or you can go to the website and click contact us. We also have a couple reviews up this week. I did a Smash Bros 3DS review, and we actually had a friend of ours outside of this podcast that did a Hyrule Warriors review. They're both up on the website, so check out that, and look forward to our Kickstarter tomorrow.
Forza Horizon 2, and most likely a Shadows of Mordor one at some point. I'm working on both of those. So
Right on.
Yep.
All right. Well, thank you very much for listening, guys. We'll see you next week.
Have a great evening.